So, baby, we got stood up today.
We did.
But good thing we had a plan B in place.
Yes, always plan B.
Actually, we didn't have plan B in place.
No, we did not.
So we got this time set aside, and for Caly and I, we're busy as heck. And so if we ever have time, we got to take advantage of it.
We got to record a podcast.
So we're going to have some fun here. So stay tuned and have some fun with us.
Because here we go.
This is RV Destinations Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the RV Destinations Podcast, wherever you're joining us from, whether it be YouTube or audio podcast. Thank you for joining in. And I'm Randy B. Heimer, the president of RV Destinations Magazine, here with my beautiful wife and the editor-in-chief of RV Destinations Magazine, Caly B. Heimer.
Caly B. Heimer and Charlie B. Heimer is making her little debut down here. She always likes to sit behind me during podcast day.
Yeah, that's right. And today we got stood up.
We did.
Call.
We're not going to say by who.
Yep.
We're going to respect that. But yeah, we got stood up and we have to use this time. We just can't not because we're so insanely busy. So we're going to do something else. I honestly have no idea what we're doing.
Yep.
So this is fly by the seat of our pants. B-roll is going to be highly entertaining on the YouTube version, or you're just going to look at Randy and I for 30-ish minutes or less.
All right. So what we're going to do, what I did is I came up with 10 crazy questions, not crazy questions, just fun questions. And Caly has no idea of any of these.
No.
And so we're going to have a little bit of fun and talk about some experiences and different things. And so anyway, we'll see how it goes. We're going to keep this to 30 minutes, as we said. We've been trying to respect your time and cutting them down from down from an hour down to 30 minutes. So anyway,
that way you'll hang out with us longer.
Yep, absolutely. So the first question is, what's the most unexpected place you've ever ended up in your RV? And did it turn out to be a hidden gem or a disaster?
Oh my gosh, this is a lot of pressure. Most unexpected place we ended up, like planned or not planned?
Well, again, unexpected would mean not planned.
Not planned. Well, shoot, honey, I don't know. What about you? Can you think of anything? Because I'm like on the spot right now. I'm like, I don't know how to answer the question.
What, you're on the spot and can't pass the test?
I can't pass the test right now.
So I think, and again, this was kind of expected, but the place in Ohio that you booked us for, we had a wedding to go to, and we showed up and it was the GPS said, "You're here. We're in our motorhome." And I'm like, I don't see anything. I see this gravel look like a driveway.
Yep.
And so we pulled up in here, and I just come to a stop. I'm like, I don't even know if this is a campground because it was so dark. We got there at like 10 o'clock at night. And anyway, so we get out with flashlights. We walk around, and there's these tiny, I'm talking about like pop-up campers. Now, we're in a 40-foot motorhome at the time. We had our Winnebago with us, and I'm like, I don't know if we're even going to fit this. We couldn't see the road. It was dark. There was no lights on. There was no lobby, nothing.
Yeah, and it was just all grass. It was grass with some scattered picnic tables and some fire rings.
Yeah, so anyway, Caly walked around and found her spot like, okay, if they say it'll fit, I'll get it in there. So I come around, and we've actually told the story before. I come around and get in position, and then all these people started coming out of their little travel trailers. And
they did, with flashlights. And
right. And they started moving things because it was clear I was not going to get in there without moving fire rings and picnic tables and cars moving. But anyway, that's the only one that
I forgot about that.
That's the only one that comes to mind right now. And so it wasn't necessarily a disaster, and it definitely wasn't a hidden gem. I can tell you that.
No, it definitely was not a hidden gem because the next day we woke up, and when daylight hit, one of our neighbors had a deer hanging from the tree that he was processing. So that's the kind of place.
He was bleeding out a deer.
He was bleeding it out. So that's the kind of place we ended up in. The people were amazing. They really were. But we were definitely not the typical RVer that went to that RV park. But it was the only RV park near this wedding that we were going to.
Yep, that's true.
We were taking the RV. So
all right. So the next one, I know exactly where you're going to go with this one.
All right, I'm ready. Bring it
and
up.
if you don't, then I'll bring up the one that's coming to my mind.
Okay.
So have you ever had a campground neighbor from hell story?
Yes.
So tell us about your campground lady from hell, and I know exactly who you're thinking.
This is Boyd's, and I'm going to it's not Boyd's because Boyd's is amazing, but we had these neighbors from hell. I'm talking the instant our dogs pooped, she was over complaining that it smelled. Like we didn't even have a chance to clean up the poop before she was complaining.
Well, let's put that in perspective. Yeah. We have a fence, and we don't let our dogs sit outside all day on fences. Don't do that.
No,
but we'll sometimes in the morning just let them go out, do their thing, come back in, and we'll clean it up.
Right.
An hour whenever we come out.
We have bushes that are about a good 5-6 feet tall in between them and us, so it's not like it's just there. But anyway, so she would complain about that. But the worst one ever, and this woman complained, it's at Christmas time.
Yeah. I got to say, you got to tell the whole story.
I'm trying to tell the story, but you keep cutting me off.
Okay.
So she comes over one day to complain about our Christmas lights and want to know if we can shut them off at 8 o'clock at night, because the Christmas lights are shining in her RV and she can't sleep at night. I'm like, are you kidding? She's pretty much was like, well, when it gets dark, can you just shut off the Christmas lights? And I'm like, it gets dark at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, she didn't say dark. I think it was 9 o'clock. She's like, can we just agree to a reasonable hour for you to shut them off? Because they're blinking off of my roof in my RV. She had a Airstream. And they decided, they want to be one with nature. And hey, that's fine. I get it. It's cool, beautiful smell of ocean breeze and all that. But she didn't have her ACs running. She kept her window open, and with her windows open, she's gonna see the light from the neighbor.
Right.
Anyway.
So that was it. And then the straw that broke the camel's back is we were sitting in the RV one night, and it's 10 o'clock at night, and there's a pounding on our door. Randy opens it, and it's her. She's lost her ever-living mind, and she's like, the noise. I just can't handle it. I can't sleep. You got to stop the noise. It just has to stop.
And she mentioned the blinking. The lights are blinking. And what's that hum? She kept saying, what's that hum?
I can't sleep. It was our air conditioners. She was complaining that our air conditioners on our roof were running while we were in Key West, Florida. And I was like, oh, lady, that is it. I am done.
Yeah.
And the horrible part is that we were there for 2 months. So we were stuck next to this woman for 2 months because they were there the entire time too.
That was kind of the only Karen we've ever really stayed
and she was so
to that
Karen.
level. So for fun, tell us your story.
Please.
Email us in at publishers with an S at RV Destinations Magazine, or leave a note down in the note section there of your story. And if it's good, we'll put it in the magazine.
Yeah, we'll put it in the magazine, or we could even do a podcast on people's
horror
RV
stories.
Neighbor Karens. Right? I think it'd be fun.
So moving on.
Okay.
Again, I want to keep mindful of the time.
I know, honey. I know.
So the next question is, what's one item you absolutely refuse to RV without, no matter how tight space gets?
My entire RV?
Of course.
No. No matter how tight space gets. So my 8 sleep on the bed. I can never RV without that, but that's kind of permanently on the bed. Things that I take, our solo stove and our camping chairs. I think those are an absolute must. Wherever we go, I want those in there. Even if it's a dead middle of summer, I want our solo stove in there, because sometimes I just want to sit around a campfire. And sometimes there's not always a fire ring at every single campground.
Yeah, so mine would be the camera gear and all the video gear and all that stuff. But that's all, again, packed away in the RV, so we just keep it there permanently. I can't think of anything else that we would decide. Our bikes. Our bikes would be. We usually always travel with the bikes unless we don't feel like we're going to use them.
Right, because we've got storage. We have an office here in Kentucky where we're sitting right now. And so we have a full finished walkout basement of about 1,000 square feet. And when we sold our sticks and bricks, a lot of the stuff went in there, and we'll switch out things seasonally. But I would say our camping chairs, a solo stove, my smoker. So we've got a smoker, a small Traeger smoker, and the grill. And those are absolute musts, can never come out of the RV.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. We're about halfway done here.
Okay. Let's do it.
Next one is, what's the most scenic spot you've ever parked your rig, and did you find it by plan or by accident?
Ooh.
For me, it's
okay.
Well, this is one. There's so many good ones.
I know. I've got a couple here.
One that comes to mind for me is when we boondocked at the Salt Flats in Utah. Mm-hmm. I thought that was awesome. We were out there. It felt like by ourselves. I know there were a few other campers further out, and we do have some pictures floating around. We'll see if we can get them to post them here. But it was just beautiful. I mean, it was absolutely beautiful. And there's been many other places, but that's one that comes to mind right off the gate.
Yeah. Another one that was surprising, that was actually a Harvest Host location, was that sculpture farm in South Dakota.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't think of the name of the sculpture farm, but if you ever have ever driven I-80 in South Dakota,
exactly what we're
you'll
talking
see
about.
the giant metal steer head sitting in the field. That is a Harvest Host location, and you get that whole place to yourself. The guy literally kind of loosely locks you in for the night. And it's just you. It was just us, and
it could be some other campers.
Yeah,
I
think he has enough space for like 2, maybe 3 people at most.
Yeah.
We were the only ones there. And so as the sun was setting, we got to walk around and look at all these sculptures, which was incredible. And then we were separated by a little fence by these cows. And the cows kept coming up to the fence because they were so curious about us and the dogs, and we were so curious about them. And then just the rolling hills of South Dakota. Like, it was beautiful.
Yeah, that was really, really cool. Unexpected.
Very unexpected.
All Harvest Host places are pretty cool, but that was exceptionally cool. So the next one is, and I already know your answer to this, but maybe those out there have not heard Caly say this before, but do you prefer RVing in the mountains, by the beach, in the desert, or deep in the woods, and why?
I would say beach and deep in the woods. And those would be my first 2 choices. The beach, just because I love the ocean. I just love the water. I love being near the beach and the smell of the salt air. But I love being in the woods. Like, I think back when you and I first started RVing, and we would go to Red River Gorge all the time. And there was that one campground that we could get. Whittleton.
Yep.
And we could get our little teardrop back there. So we camped there in a tent. We had our teardrop, and then we had a small 25-foot travel trailer that we could barely get back there. I mean, that's kind of how small it is. But you're nestled in this valley with all these trees. It's beautiful. It's kind of beautiful to be like that. And I know what your answers are. Yours are the other 2. Literally.
Well, maybe not desert. I mean, I would be willing to try a desert, although I guess the Salt Flats you could say is a high desert. But so mine's definitely going to be a mountain.
Yeah.
I absolutely love being up in the mountains, or even down in the valley looking at a mountain. So the mountains are all about
So what has been your favorite mountain location we've been to? Would that be Glacier? I guess we've been to Glacier.
But Glacier, the campgrounds are out there on the west side, and you really don't see. You see a little bit of the mountains, but I wouldn't say that's the most beautiful place. Glacier itself is a beautiful place. Yeah. But I'm not camping in Glacier. I would love to camp in Glacier. Yeah. We haven't done that yet, but I don't know. I think that campground in Ouray, Colorado, right at the end. We haven't stayed there, but I think that would be pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, give me the mountains anytime. The beach is nice, but
I love the beach.
About 1-2 days laying on the beach and I'm done. I'm ready to go do something different. So, but anyway, okay. So next one. What's your go-to road trip snack or meal that always hits the spot after a long day on the road? And I know I'm going to answer Caly's. Let me answer Caly's.
Right.
Hands down, know this: corn nuts.
Yes, hands down.
She cannot drive more than a half hour without having a bag of corn nuts.
Because it's amazing. I'm pointing to the passenger seat. I can sit in that passenger seat and be totally fine. I get in that driver's seat and all of a sudden I am the sleepiest person in the world. Like, it is massive struggle bus. And so I find eating the corn nuts, just that crunch, and I literally eat them one at a time. So that bag lasts me like 3 hours of just crunch.
She literally will eat them one at a time. Do you know anybody out there that picks one little kernel corn?
This guy
and eats it yes. I'll grab like a handful and throw them all in my mouth. She's like, "What are you doing?"
You have to savor it one at a time. Yeah.
So I've got to say mine is Coke Zero.
Yes.
Actually, yep. I'll literally an 8-hour shift of driving. I'll probably go through 8 Coke Zeros.
Probably yes, because we have a plan. So we have these big yellow cups, these big plastic yellow cups that we actually inherited from you and your ex-wife, and I love these cups. So thank you, Teresa. Because they're awesome. And they fit like 2 cans of Coke Zero. So I'll fill up his glass with ice and a Coke Zero and then give him a spare. And it's just kind of that methodology the whole time. So he runs out, I go back, refill it with ice, more Coke Zero, give him a spare can. And that's how our trip goes as we head down the road in the RV.
All right, so the next one is I'm going to skip the next one. It's talking about it's talking about a breakdown.
Oh.
Have you ever had a breakdown?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess the most frustrating. We'll go ahead and answer it while
which
we're
one?
The most frustrating, when we had the front tire blowout.
Well, we had a front tire blowout, a rear tire blowout. We had derated several times.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking of the first time we got derated, we didn't know what was going on.
Right.
And those that do not have a diesel or a motorhome, what derating is these newer motorhomes. You basically, they're going to take you down to 5 miles an hour where you can just get off the road safely. Mm-hmm. The engine's designed to protect itself, and they call that derating. And so if there's something going on in the engine, it'll start derating you. So I guess the worst time that we had, so we had a front tire blowout while we were doing 75 miles down the road between Lubbock and Amarillo.
At night.
And it was getting close. We knew the tires needed to be replaced. It was getting really close. We've told the story before, but we're telling it again. So that was, I don't remember, that was sometime in the summer. So we decided to get all the tires replaced while we were there.
That was like April, May.
Okay, so April, May. Yeah. She's got a better memory than me. April, May, we replaced all 6 tires on the motorhome. Then
it was like August, July or August.
We were coming back from Marquette.
And not only 2 times, 2 breakdowns.
Yeah. So we're coming back from Marquette, and we come through. If you've ever been that way, we went over the Mackinac Bridge, and as we were coming through the booth, the check engine light come on. It was like, oh gosh, what now?
Welcome.
So
to
we started going up, and we were coming from Upper Peninsula over to the mainland, and we come up and we almost crested the hill, and it starts derating us. Mm-hmm. And so we start coasting down the hill. Thank God it started derating us as we were going down the hill, because if you've been on the Mackinac Bridge, you know it's a pretty narrow
steep
bridge.
Yeah.
Well, it's steep and narrow. So we were able to coast down, pull off. Long story short, we needed our DEF regenerated because it wasn't regenerating. Right. So we had somebody come force it into regeneration. So anyway, it took somebody 60 miles away, an overnight stay in the rest area right there to get somebody up there. But so that's not the end of the story.
No.
So we leave that area and we drive all the way down. We're getting around Toledo, and we just get outside of the city limits of Toledo, and 2 of our back tires blow out. 2 of our brand new back tires that we just had replaced in Amarillo blew out.
Yep.
And by this time, I wanted to steer that RV right into the concrete wall and just
wanted
be done
to
with
light a match on the corner and walk away.
Anyway, so I don't want to relive that story. I hate that story. So tell us one of your what one campground would you tell everybody to visit, and one that you'd warn people to avoid?
Okay, so there's a couple that I would tell people to visit. One that pops up, like just getting away from it all, is that little one on Chokoloskee Island, which is Sugar Sand Beach Resort. And it is 12 sites.
We've talked about
frills.
This before. Yep.
Yeah, I just love that place. But it's on the water, so it's more of a beach vibe. And because my other favorite too would be Boyd's, which again is beach. So yeah, I need to think of some non-beachy ones. Wow, what would you say?
I mean, I would certainly say those 2. I would say the one in Array, which we've already talked about. I can't even think of the name of that.
Oh, it's like 4 + 4 + R + J or something.
That's right. Yeah. It's the 4 kids' names, 4 J's or 4J, I think is what it is. They had 4 people with the letter J in their name, and so that's why they named it that. That would be up there, even though, again, we haven't stayed there, but we've been through the park, and it's just nestled right in the mountains there, and it's beautiful. But ones that we have stayed, certainly Boyd's, we absolutely love it. It seems like home there. The one in Durango was nice. We enjoyed that one.
Yeah. Durango Ranch RV Resort. And actually the one in Buffalo too, the KOA Buffalo.
Yep.
Wyoming.
Yep. That was, actually, that's a beautiful one.
That was stunning.
We really enjoyed our time in Buffalo.
And honestly, like the Margaritavilles too. Like we've stayed at 3 of the Margaritavilles, and every single one, it's so hard. Like the list. Okay. What about ones that you were like, never again?
That one in Ohio.
Yes, that one in Ohio that we went for the wedding, that I don't even know what that was.
The KOA in Seattle, unless it's been approved.
Yeah.
I just
that
can't.
Was so sketchy.
Yeah, we had a bad experience. Now this has been 7 years. 2019.
Yeah, it would have been 2019 that we were there.
Yeah.
And it was. We got yelled at for our little dog fence, but there were literally people that had broken down 4-wheelers chained to the front of their 5th wheel with windows that had been busted out and boarded over.
And there was a couple washers, I think, out in front, and one guy that was changing his oil on his dirt bike. I'm talking about not well, yeah, I guess it's not a bicycle, a motorcycle.
A motorcycle. And then somebody else had 2 of those gazebo type tents set up with like an entire outdoor kitchen, like pots and pans and wash tubs.
But
our
we couldn't have a
fence
was a problem.
Right.
So anyway, we'll move on. Let's see. The next one is number 9, and that is if you could. And again, Caly and I've not read these. She's not read these.
I have no idea.
If you could RV to any place in the world, even hypothetically, where would you go? That's a fun one.
Oh my gosh. I would literally take the RV everywhere, like everywhere. India. I would be great to RV through India just because I think I would love to have my niceties there.
I think just getting it over to Europe to where you can go all the way through. I mean, you can pretty much go over to, I imagine you could get to India, once you get to Europe. In some way, shape,
or form. Yeah, but that would be incredible. That would be an epic road trip because, European RVs are so much smaller than American RVs. And I'm so spoiled with my 45 feet of
could you imagine getting down some of those roads in Italy?
That's why it's hypothetical.
Can you imagine how much it would cost to fuel that thing?
Oh my gosh!
When they're like $3 a liter, not even a gallon.
Yeah. Or even taking this back to Norway. Norway was incredible and very, very RV friendly. So for RVers that want to do an international trip, Norway is a place that you could easily rent an RV, go around the entire country, and there are so many campgrounds. And I'm talking campgrounds that are overlooking glacier lakes, and there's a glacier in the background surrounded by mountains, and it's just breathtaking and beautiful. So, all right. So what are you doing over there?
I was, so the last one isn't very epic. And so I was like, let me see if I can find a quick question while you were answering that. So thanks for calling me out.
Oh, no problem.
So the last one here, it says, do you have any travel quirks or rituals or good luck charms that before you take a trip? And we really don't.
Prayer. Yeah, we pray a lot of times.
We do that, especially when you drive.
I love you too.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready. And Charlie, are you ready, Charlie? What do you have to say?
All right. So I said, give me an epic question. So I asked ChatGPT this because I needed something on the spot. Give me an epic question about an RV. And it said, if you could leave everything behind and RV for full time for a year with no responsibility, unlimited fuel, and any rig you want, what would your journey look like? And what would you hope to discover about yourself along the way? So that's pretty deep. Okay, let's roll it out.
And I think that's good for us, honestly, because yes, we're full-time RVers, but we have another business that we've talked about that we have to come back to Kentucky and spend 5-ish months out of the year back here. So it's like we're still kind of going out, coming back. And that's a lot different than just hitting the road and staying on the road.
But we're going out for a couple months and then coming back.
Right. But still, we still have to come back. So I think for me, just having that ability of going from, like we were in San Antonio earlier in the year, and then maybe just continuing heading further west and then, looping up around the coast and, kind of zigzagging through the middle of the country without this pressure of we've got to get back to Kentucky, because we still have that pressure of we've got to get back. So I think for me, that would be really exciting to literally just take a year without that pressure of we got to get back, to go wherever we want and do whatever we want and see whatever we want.
Yeah, I think I would do the same thing. I think I would start, in Kentucky, work my way down to Louisiana, and then go through Texas, Arizona, California, on up into Alaska, and then through Canada, and then back down through New York, the New England states, and then make our way back to Kentucky. So big circle of the United States. I think that would be mine.
Yeah.
What kind of rig we'd want? I'm happy with this rig.
I love our rig.
I'll take a Newell if someone wants to give me a Newell.
Hey, Newell, if you want to give us one, we will gladly take it for that year-long trip and promote the living bejesus out of you guys.
I'll pay for the fuel if you can pay for the
you pay for the coach.
Insurance and the coach. Yeah, we probably can't even afford the insurance on that.
No,
thing. Probably can't even afford the taxes on that thing. So and then what would you hope to discover about yourself along the way?
Oh my goodness, that I can give up. I would hope that I would be able to discover that I can give up a lot more. Meaning, I still feel like we are hanging on to way too much stuff. When I step into our office and the storage that we have there, and look at all that, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Because like all the clothes that we have there, yet I'm totally fine with the amount of clothes that I have here in our closet. So I would like to think that it would really teach me to let go.
Yep. I would agree with that because, we just started our journey, as most of you know, back in November, and we got rid of a lot of stuff, a ton of stuff, but we still kept a ton of stuff. So we have an office and below, we've said this before, below the office, we have about 800 square feet maybe of storage. And so we put a lot of stuff down there, way more. We were going to just use it for memorabilia stuff and necessities that we just didn't really need to necessarily carry with us.
And it's like, I don't want to say it's floor to ceiling.
It's floor to ceiling.
It's floor to ceiling with a tiny little path down the middle.
Yep.
And it's just ridiculous. And so like the arguments that we got into of things that we were keeping and why, like we got into an argument about a tile like trowel. Yeah, you wanted to keep it. And I'm like, why? And he's like, what if we do tile again one day? I'm like, where? We don't need to keep this.
Yep.
So
in fact, we're going through a lot of that stuff now. Like, okay, let's get rid of that. But anyway, so hope you've had fun with us today. That wraps up our last questions. If you have any fun stories or want to answer any of these, again, feel free to email us at publishers@RV Destinations Magazine. Let us know, and we might publish you in the magazine. We're always looking for fun stories to put in our Road Ahead section, which is the very back of the magazine. It's the last thing people read before they end the issues. So if you got any stories, let us know. If you want to hear any topics, let us know as well. We're going to continue with the destinations. We're going to keep them sweet and short to the point. But let us know how we're doing and if there's anything we can do. You want to take us out?
Yeah. So we want to thank all of you out there for joining us in here today for just this quick little recap about being RVers. And again, we would love to hear if we get enough responses from you guys, we can create a whole podcast. And I think that'd be a lot of fun of people's kind of stories, good and bad. But anyway, find us wherever you listen to your podcasts. We're pretty much everywhere. And then don't forget that we're out on YouTube as well. So anytime you want to see our happy, shiny faces, check us out on YouTube. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you are always up to date on our newest content. Check out our website, rvdestinationsmagazine.com. We are currently working behind the scenes, revamping our website. And it's going to have some incredible, amazing search features that are going to blow your mind. So when it comes to being the resource for RVers and destinations, that's going to be us. So I just want to kind of tease you guys with that's coming down the line. So be on the lookout. And thank you all. We appreciate it.
Safe travels.
Safe travels, y'all.